You do.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Frank Presents the Play Call. I'm Frank, and I'm joined with the team. Bree, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Shout out to two people. We have two birthdays we got to celebrate tomorrow. June's birthday is tomorrow. And also, it's Toby's birthday. So
look at that.
Birthdays.
So we'll say happy birthday at the end of all this.
I got balloons ordered for Toby. I'm gonna surprise him with a puppy birthday cake and some balloons.
No, that's
all right. Cool. I'll be looking out for
that. Nikki, how are you?
I'm doing well. Just good old California weather, holding it down.
Yeah, somebody's in
California on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Her life sucks right now because she's in Cali doing inspections.
June,
I wouldn't say suck, but
in California, her life is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to Cali, so I don't know. I'm going next month. I'll let you know how I like it or not. I probably won't, but June, what's up, bro?
What is going on here? Enjoying the day. I'm not envious that Nikki's selling the government's money. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, get it while how you get it, and do that travel claim when you get back. You know, even though that's part of your job, but make sure that it's done correctly. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started, y'all.
All right, we're gonna kick it off with some scores from the wild card on Saturday, January 15th. The Bengals defeated the Raiders 26-19. And the Bills defeated the Patriots 47-17. On Sunday, January 16th, the Buccaneers defeated the Eagles 31-15. The 49ers defeated the Cowboys 23-17. And the Chiefs defeated the Steelers 42-21. And on Monday, January 17th, the Rams defeated the Cardinals 34-11.
Well, who wants to go first?
Hold on. So per our predictions, which don't really mean anything. However, Frank got all games correct. Every last one of them was correct. June and I tied for second place, and then Bree came.
I only had two right.
Hey, the shades to Bree came. She just showed up. I mean, look, last weekend, I guess, right, but I had to go against my own team, and I just knew it. So I'll talk about that real quick because I know I was watching Inside NFL before we record. I try to watch it, and Julian, they asked Jules because he had bet I think $100,000 it'd be Bucks and Pats in the Super Bowl. So he's watching the game outside in the cold. It was 9 degrees on a TV with a football and a beanie on and a short sleeve shirt watching the game. So he, I agree with everything that he said. And before we called the game, before we actually watched the game on live, but before the game started, I said that the defense would have to do a lot better than the second game that they played. And the defense did exactly the same thing. And I feel like one play that was very pivotal for Mac Jones was that pass to Aguilar that I said Poyer, but it was Hyde. Micah Hyde picked it off, and it was a beautiful pick. I wish I could share it and show it because you got to give credit when credit's due. You know what I'm saying? And I just think for a rookie quarterback, that's got to be so deflating. You know what I'm saying? You're already in unknown waters. You've never been to the playoffs, and it's a different environment. You're back in a place that they're going crazy. This team, you just played them 3 weeks ago, and they beat you in your own house. You make this nice throw, and this guy just says, I want it more than the receiver, and takes it. And what do? You feel like, man, what can I do? I feel that the Buffalo Bills went out there and they have full command of the game, coaching, special teams, defense, offense. The players is ready. And you look on the other side of the field and it's like, yo, we can't match up. I feel my team looked very deflated. I feel my team just wasn't ready. And, great run for him as a rookie to go to the playoffs on his first year. But I hope he learns from this. I expect him to be better next year. But I hope that they get that defense where it needs to be because it wasn't only offense. I don't think that Mac Jones could have kept up with Josh Allen touchdown for touchdown. That defense had to have made a stop. They scored on every possession. 5 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and no picks, no turnovers, and no punts. First time in NFL history. So shout out to the Bills. That's what I want to talk about that in my game for that.
Most
Hey,
definitely.
real quick. All right.
We have to tip our hat, hand salute, attend her. Every possession was a TD. Listen, I'll say this, and I'm not going to talk about any particular. I am going to talk about one. However, I'll say this: you can see the difference with some of these teams on how they perform during the regular season and how they're performing now. A lot of teams, you like, bro, where were y'all all year? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever fire, whatever y'all had to do, it got lit after the postseason. So it's gonna be interesting. And then I'll talk about my game. Well, you know what? Since I'm already talking,
But
I only went to one game.
Oh, you went. Oh,
Huh?
So let's save that for a separate. June, you got anything to add about the Patriots and Bills?
I'm just gonna take it back to last week really fast. And where am I going with this? I think we talked about how they felt last year. We talked about how the Chargers felt after they got field goal. And I think that's exactly how they pulled off this win. McDermott, that's his name, right? The coach.
Yeah.
He looked at Diggs and said, Diggs, I want you to give up the opening motivational speech. And then Diggs just pulled out a picture of him standing in the end zone last year. And I think that's exactly how they pulled off this win. And that's it. There wasn't no speech. It was just a straight picture saying, dang.
Frank, what did I tell you? Remember I said Diggs already told me watch Josh Allen take off.
But you know, what can you say, man? I mean, they, as a fan of this Pats, you know, I didn't expect them to go far. I expected a better play, though. I did. I expected the defense to try to contain a little more. Maybe Josh Allen make better throws.
But Josh Allen made great throws.
I mean, not Josh Allen, Mac Jones.
All right.
Make do better. I just felt the coaching didn't prepare that team going into it. That's just me. I feel the Patriots, for being so well known to be coached, the game plan they went in there was not the right one. And sometimes it's a little too much when your defense isn't stopping, and you probably know deep down inside you can't match what that offense is doing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people compared him to Brady's first year playing, and when Brady took over Bledsoe, they had a amazing defense. You know, the Patriots, that's what got them their first 3 Super Bowls, was really defense and Brady managing the game and making the right throws. When your defense isn't stopping a lick, they couldn't patch a hole to save their life, man. So they just drowned. But hey, Bills did it. Shout outs to the Bills. You know, as a fan of football, I remember when they went to, what was it, 4 Super Bowls straight and did not win one of them.
Yeah,
Giants won
crazy.
2. Cowboys won 2, Giants won 1, and Redskins won 1. That's crazy. So, you know, hey, so let's go to Nikki's game. She was there live in Dallas. Last minute, gets the phone call. Hey, put your dress blues on and come out and hold his flag.
Meet me in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and she answered the call, y'all. Nikki was in bed, bonnet on.
Nikki answered a phone call before 9 a.m.
And
round of applause, Frank. Get a round of applause.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The shade.
The shade is real.
And they called me at 9:37.
And listen, she got up and got ready. She was committed to excellence and the fair treatment of all that day. So, Nikki, tell us about your experience that day.
All right. I'll say this. For the military folks, if you ever get the opportunity, or if you're ever asked to do flag detail for an NFL game, I 100% tell you right now, decline.
You're stupid. That was fun.
Decline it, okay? That flag is super heavy.
You're stupid.
Decline it. Hey, if you take it to get into the stadium free, go ahead and do that, but do not carry that damn flag. That thing is super heavy. All jokes aside, it's something now I can at least say I accomplished. I did it. I will never do it again. But let's talk about the game. it was very disappointing that the Cowboys lost that game, at least for me. And the reason why I said it's disappointing was, I 100% blame Dak, Dak, and the motherfucking refs. I think that one ref, not even refs, that one ref, he was terrible. I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say. He was terrible, and it wasn't even only the last call, the last play. If you want to say this, if you want to blame Dak for the last play, go. I mean, Cowboys all together, all these.
What are we saying?
False starts. They played so terrible. I'll tell you this, it was lit, as in there was so many Cowboy fans. Obviously, we're here in Dallas. But it was very disappointing. I'll say this. I think if they had a little bit more time, or if Dak would have did that last play, well, I don't know. I can't even say that they probably would have won. I don't know. It was just disappointing. It was disappointing all around. You had home side advantage, you know. It was just disappointing. It was disappointing. It was frustrating. And yeah, I don't know. But it's the Cowboys. What I mean, what did we expect? And you know what's so disappointing again on top of that was that they had some good games. You're gonna say some promising games where, like for example, they lost to the Bucks the beginning of the year, but you like, oh, it was this close. You know what I'm saying? For you to be this close to beating the Bucks and then you come out here and do that shit to the 49ers? Come on, man.
I just, go ahead, Drew.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm not surprised, and I'm not saying it because I'm because I'm an Eagles fan or whatnot. I'm not surprised if you look at the Dallas Cowboys in the last 6 games. It has been nothing but a decline. There was nothing in the last 6 games that I could say, you know what, Dallas is back like they were in the form of the beginning of the season.
Oh, they good games, June.
There's no way. Well, they had a 50-29 game against the Eagles when the Eagles played their fans pretty much in their uniforms. Like, it was, that game didn't even matter. That was the only game they scored so many points in. And I think they beat Washington, but without Heineke. But at the same time, again, Dallas just isn't who they were last year before that got hurt. They aren't who they were in the beginning of the season. And for those two sole reasons going into the playoffs, I didn't think they were going to be one and done, but unfortunately they played the 49ers that were extremely hot, second hottest dangerous team in the NFL leading going into the playoffs. The first one was the Colts, in my opinion, before they got eliminated by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's that. And I blame Dak Prescott. Totally his fault, not the refs. Hopefully next year he looks. I have nothing to say. It's Dak's fault. He should have never did that. Regardless, he could have had them verticals a little bit closer, but it's just, I know we talked about it before, us four, and it kind of goes back to knowing the rules of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be completely honest, right? And we've all said this one way or another, right? We always say that if you're waiting on one play, like towards the end to make it, and it's so hard to say that because one play can change momentum and everything about the game, good or bad. But I think like this, he was just inaccurate the entire game. It wasn't even just that last play. Like if you go back, like it was like it was just a bad game all the way.
For me,
I also don't think that they utilize some of their, like, I like Pollard. I like Pollard way more than I like Zeke. I'm sorry. I like Pollard.
I agree with you. I think Pollard should have been starting over Zeke. even though
Most
we know that's
definitely.
not going to happen over money.
Most definitely. And not that they can't use Zeke, but they use Zeke like, and I hate to say it, like he's their number one. And I hate to say that because he is, but I think Pollard is more explosive. I think if the hole is there for Zeke, he 50% might perform. Like he'll well, I shouldn't say 50. He'll utilize it. Oh, he'll take it. But I think that Pollard just got more drive. Like, I don't know. And then another thing that pissed me off is they lose, and when they interview Zeke, he talk about, oh, I'm hurt. And which he is, right? Like, that's why he's been wearing that brace or whatever. But it's like, bro, don't do that. Don't make it seem like y'all only lost because of that, because that's not true. Because if y'all would have won, you would have been like, you being hurt wouldn't have even been a question, or you would have used it more as a tactic. Like, I'm not even 100% and I'm still whooping tail. Like, don't do that.
I think so. We can all we talked about this and we all had different points of views. All right, June, be safe, man. Have fun. Send your
All right, y'all. I'll talk to you.
Hey, send your picks to the division rounds in the chat so we can read them at the end of this. So
all right.
The thing for me, and I blame the coaching for one. Your team, there's no discipline there. What are you doing during practice to rectify these false starts? What are you doing to coach them up and change that? Because the penalties, you saw, so last year, the Bucks were one of the most penalized teams. After a certain week, they went a whole game without a penalty after that. They turned it around. So what happened there? Was it coaching? Was it the players came together? Something clicked. I believe it was coaching and players holding each other accountable and say, yo, we can't keep playing like this. We're going to lose the game. So on that aspect, Nikki, I will say you're right. The Cowboys screwed up more than the 49ers made the plays needed to make, right?
Right. I told y'all that. Y'all didn't agree, but that really is what happened.
I also feel the 49ers put the points up they needed to put up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel the 49ers were in control of that game the whole time. And it was kind of boring at first. I was like, I was watching it here with a Cowboys fan, and he was just like, bro, they're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing. And to see it come down to a play, and again, it goes back to situational football and coaching. What do your players know? He should have known to give that ref the ball. He should have known that. He should have said, he should never give it to the center to put down. And everybody wants to say, oh, they should get faster referees to keep up with the players. It's not their job to keep up with the players. It is their job to referee the game and follow the rules. You could bring up the false start call. They talked about that on First Things First or Undisputed, and they called the rules out. So again, they can say it's the ref's fault, but it ain't their fault. You try to go for a punt and then substitute for another play, and then now they got to reset the ball, so they got to touch it, and then the ref was still there, but the rule book say they have to do that. So they should have called the timeout. They should never took that penalty.
No, absolutely not. I don't agree. Nope.
You don't have to agree with me, but the rules are the rules though. So you can write, you could write the NFL commissioner and say, hey, they need to change this, but that's a rule. And a lot of other teams, it's happened. People don't blame it. We can't put it on just two missed plays. We have to put it on the entire game. And the entire game, the fact is this: they didn't play disciplined football. They didn't know the situations. And give credit, I do agree. The middle of the field was open. I was watching inside NFL, and one of the coach on the sidelines told Zeke, they're not covering the middle. They can run it up and get closer for a throw. So that was the plan. It just didn't work out the way they should have. And again,
I mean, it worked out fine. It didn't work out. So I think this was it, right? He utilized the middle. He got the first down.
Yeah.
And I think he should have it wasn't that much time left for you to run 1,800 miles down the field, right? You didn't have enough time for that, right?
Yeah.
And you're still trying to squeeze in another play. So we have to take that first into consideration, right? And then the second thing we have to take into consideration was he should have given it to the ref, right?
Yep.
So we'll take that. But if we go back to that false start, and you know what? After here, I'll replay it for you because I have to play it for y'all the first time for y'all to see it. It was still enough time. They were already set. Enough time for the ref to get out the way and for them to hike the ball. There's no way you're going to get out the way with 1 second remaining and expect them to get the ball hiked. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. He stood there for a good, at least at a minimum, 5-6 seconds before he got out, and they were all set.
Now that may
You don't
change.
do that.
You never know. That rule may change this year because every year
It definitely has to.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is what it needs to change to. It's not even that, but you need to. We got to restart the thingy.
That's fair.
No, I don't. That delay game was terrible.
So now let me ask you a question, right? And I don't really want to spend too much time on this because we still got to cover Bucks and Eagles, being that June's not here. And I want Bree to comment on her game, at least being that it was Big Ben's probably last game of his career.
It was
his last game.
So, they should have played better football. At the end, they should have been coached better. They should have played better and more disciplined. Bree, if you got anything you want to add to that, I mean, at the end of the day, the Cowboys, the fans, or the
While we're on the topic, I do want to talk about Dak Prescott's apology. And as of 7 minutes ago, he was fined $25,000 for his post-game comments related to the game officials. So after the game, in his post-game interview, the reporters told him that the fans were throwing garbage at the officials, and he responded back with credit to them and was laughing like credit to the fans. He then did a 3-tweet apology about what he said, and he wrote, I gotta find it. Damn, I lost it.
They just be finding these players for nothing. Like, I think that's ridiculous.
I mean, show me the rule book and then I'll pay the fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me where it says I can't do that. So while you find a tweet, I
got it. Oh, sorry. So he tweeted, he said, I deeply regret the comments I made regarding the officials after the game on Sunday. I was caught up in emotions of a disappointing loss, and my words were uncalled for and unfair. I told the NFL officials in the highest regards. I hold the NFL officials in the highest regard and have always respected their professionalism and the difficulty of their jobs. The safety of everyone who attends a game or participates on the field of a sporting event is a very serious matter. It was my mistake on my behalf, and I'm so sorry.
Now, you want to know some of the truth? They were throwing trash to the players.
Yeah, you was there. You know better than all of us. You was there.
Right. They even have a recording where they threw it at one of the plates and he blocked it with his helmet. There was no ref over there. As soon as the ref said they ended with the game, they ran off. Players didn't run off, and they were throwing trash at the players.
It was Lawrence that blocked it.
Yeah, he blocked it with his helmet. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So, granted, all right, whatever. But he ain't tell these people to throw trash. Like, y'all just want to find people for everything.
No, and he shouldn't apologize. That's how you.
I wouldn't have.
I would never. So here's going back to that, right? Coaches meet with the refs before the game, and they all do, and they tell them plays to look for. When people study film, they're not only studying tendencies that players. They not only studying the plays, what formations to look for. They're looking at tendencies. I'm giving you an example. When the Chiefs played the Bucks in the Super Bowl, you think that they didn't tell them, they hold? They were calling holding calls. Why? Because they're being exposed to it. You see the players tell refs in the sideline, like, he's pushing off, pay attention. A lot of times they don't, you see it, they blow the whistle for a push off or a holding. They get coached, they don't get coached, but they get told about tendencies. Vrabel's done it with the Titans. It's something. For one, don't apologize. You didn't say nothing wrong. You're not the first player or the first fan or the first coach out. Yeah, a coach. All the coaches have done it, and some of them don't do it because they don't want to look classless by putting the blame on somebody else. But deep down inside, they know it. You know what I'm saying? They be like, they call it pass interference for what? Well, look, how many times did the Saints when the loss to the Rams and the championship? That was a pass interference. They didn't call it. They called it out when they went when they
same thing when we played the Pats and they said Miles Jackson was down and he wasn't. They apologized after the season. They was like, they're bad. He was never down, but they called it. So they do that all the time. So
they do it. It's just I don't think you should apologize for how you felt. You didn't say nothing disrespectful. You didn't say nothing crazy. You spoke your truth. You spoke with your feelings. Zach's trying to be a political person. And you know what? They want to find people. The NFL got to make money somehow. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to find people for no reason. I mean,
so my question is this, right? And this is the last thing. Bengal Raiders game, right? And they said the refs did wrong. What they find them?
Oh, they never coach in a postseason game.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And that hurts their pockets, though. Think about it. Now they
Because they
can't
get
coach.
paid for every game that they.
Yeah. So
that
now they lost money. You know,
I'm not taking shit. And that's money that probably was never guaranteed.
I'll tell you,
Not all refs plays in postseason
but
games.
I'll tell you what, though, the reason they're not going to find them reps is because the refs ain't making 15, 20,000, 100.
I understand that. I understand that. But my point is this. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because there's other times or other situations where other people could be blamed, like the refs, and y'all don't penalize them.
The Saints,
you get what I'm saying?
The Saints were caused that against the Rams, and when they played the Vikings, that the tight end Rudolph pushed off. It was a clear extension of his hand in the end zone, and they caught the pass to end the game in overtime, I think, in the divisional rounds. And guess what? The refs didn't come back, and you can't change that. And I don't like that.
No, you can't change it.
It was divisional rounds 2018.
Yeah. What happens to you? Cost them the game. It's just like when so now remember before they used to do like they say strip sack fumble, and they used to blow it dead. And the guy's in the end zone, but then they turn around that it was a strip sack fumble, but you don't give them the 6 points that they got. So they stopped doing that. Now they let it go. They call it a touchdown. They review it and overturn it. So hopefully they'll start changing the plays a little bit to make it more friendly and not friendly, but to make it more fair. And you got to think people go to see high scoring games. Nobody wants to see a low scoring game. That's why all these rules are being changed to protect quarterbacks, the receivers. People want to see points on the board. You don't go to a game. I like a defensive game, but then people say it's boring, right? Because, they only put up, i.e. the Super Bowl, 13-3, Rams and Patriots. Oh, well, that was a defensive battle. That's what it was. If you go back to the 70s and the 80s, that's what that was, defensive games. You didn't see high-scoring games like that. That's why when the Greatest Show on Turf, the Rams started putting up points, that was a big thing. When the Vikings in 98 had the most scores on the offense, but came up short and didn't win the Super Bowl, that's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that calls are going to happen. We just got, as fans, we got to take the good with the bad. And hopefully them coaches, when they go talk, these owners, when they go talk during the offseason to change the rules and meet with the committees, they come up with views and change that. Going on to the Eagles and Bucks, not much to say there. A lot of people thought I was crazy for picking the Bucks. Bucks defense showed up. We didn't account. We thought offensive weapons was going to matter, but what mattered most was that defense got Shaq Barrett back, who got an interception. Levante David, they had Winfield. They got their people back. JPP, they was applying pressure. The number one rushing offense went against the number 3 rushing defense and got held to 95 yards. That's the end. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. Eagles, June talks about the Cowboys. Cowboys were 6-2 in the end of the season with Pete. They beat people with losing records. They didn't lost to, I want to say the Cardinals, and there was somebody else they lost to. But the Eagles, you could say the same thing. Eagles,
They haven't beat anyone with a winning record.
So now, with that being said, Bree,
the Eagles struggled. So
yeah, I mean, they couldn't run the ball. Once you can't run the ball, now you're forcing Jalen to be a quarterback that's not to be that type of quarterback. But Sunday night, was it? We saw a game. Some of us picked the Chiefs. Some of us picked the Steelers.
We saw Big Ben's last game.
And
we saw Big Ben's last game.
Yes, we did. And, for the first quarter, the Steelers were great. Second quarter, even put 7 points on the board on a fumble. And then the game went away from there. So, Bree, I'm going to let you cover it because it's your team. Bree was very emotional, y'all, so please be easy.
I wasn't emotional that they lost. I was more emotional that I will never, ever, ever see my quarterback of 18 years play again. And now I got to do it with Mason Rudolph. That's why I was emotional. Like, I don't.
Rudolph won't be the number one.
Yeah, he won't.
I
both know that.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin spoke on it. Mike Tomlin spoke on it. As of right now, Dwayne Haskins or Mason haven't proven themselves to be the QB1 and proven themselves to be what's going to bring the team to a winning or a non-losing season again. He is still exploring and wants a seasoned veteran quarterback. But but the game, like Frank said, first quarter, our defense definitely held Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense down, wasn't letting them get anywhere. Also, our offense wasn't getting anywhere. And everyone knows my frustration with Matt Canada. Ben, by the first quarter, by the first drive, Ben should have said, this ain't like this is a make or break. Like, this is important. Like, I'm not doing this with you today. I know you my ball-headed twin, but I'm not doing this with you today. I'm not. That's what he should have said. And Ben waited way too late to call his own plays. He waited way too late. And I'm very, very disappointed in our offense. Also a little disappointed in our defense, but our defense, we just need to get better when it comes to that running. Our running defense need to get better. Our rushing is horrible on defense. We always leave the middle open, and that goes with everyone is trying to get right at the quarterback and they're leaving that entire middle open. And you have the corners on the wide receivers, but nobody's on Kelsey, right? Nobody's guarding in the middle to make sure nobody runs more than 10 yards. So all around, we need more work. I'm very proud of how our season was. It was very, very, very up and down. But I am proud of we made it to the playoffs. A lot of people counted us out. Hey, I was counting us out for a second. I was like, I don't think we're going to do it, especially when we tied with the Lions. I was like, oh, but that tie low-key saved us when it came to our winning percentage. So I'm very proud. I hope Big Ben does great things, and we'll see you in Canton in 2026, Ben.
So
I'm going to try to be there.
Can I ask you a question as a fan? And we talked about this at the time during the game and even after. Being a fan, and that's your quarterback since you was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, you grew up watching him. Like I grew up watching MJ, other in basketball, the Yankees with their players during the time. And
9.
So would you have rather him not make the postseason, but went out with a winning record than make the postseason and have probably an abysmal game that wasn't the best game that he could have ever had?
That's a hard question. And I'm gonna answer it like this. Yes for both. Yes for both, because if I knew for a fact that we wouldn't have had a shot in the playoffs, or even I knew for a fact we wouldn't even have a shot to make it into the playoffs, then yes, as long as we had a non-losing season above 500, I would have been satisfied. But every fan wants their team to go all the way. And just wanting to have faith or wanting to see Nikki what?
No,
What,
finish,
Nikki?
because then she can.
No,
No,
finish.
I want Nikki to what?
Finish.
No, I want her to say why she keeps shaking her head.
Because she'd rather have the winning season and not lose.
No, I want her to finish.
So.
Oh, so you done?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
Okay. So back to what I was saying.
I thought she said so. She said, I thought she said no, but she said.
So the fact that we were able to have a chance, I really wanted us to see how far we would go. I'm just grateful that, Nikki, stop shaking your head. It's distracting. Wait till I'm done and then say what you got to say.
No, that time my hair was bothering me. I was trying to get it.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yes,
If your hair bothers you, put your bonnet on.
No, not the bonnet. Not yet.
Right.
Keep it still.
Look, it's on standby, but not yet.
So if I knew for a fact that we was never ever going to make the playoffs, all I wanted was a non-losing season. And I said, I was super grateful for having a non-losing season, but the fact that, the Jags gave us a chance to get into the playoffs and the Raiders gave us a chance to make it into the playoffs. I'm very grateful that we made it to the playoffs. So I would rather, it's weird. It's so weird. Yes, I knew. So in my head, remember I showed you that meme where I was screaming yes, Steelers in the playoffs, we gonna go to the Super Bowl. But in my mind, I'm like, we ain't even getting past the first round. I knew we more than likely wasn't gonna go towards the first round, but a girl can dream, I just want to see how far Ben can go before he's gone. I was holding on to him like a kid holds on to their mommy's hand before they get off to school. Like they don't want to let go of their mommy's hand before they have to walk into the classroom.
That's
So I
fair.
was just seeing how long I can hold on to him a little bit longer.
I mean, as a fan, that's your opinion, and that's why I asked you the question. Me personally,
I should have went next, Frank.
No, you gonna go next. You are. I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry, Nikki. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
All right. So I was originally, and no, the only reason why I was shaking my head, right? Because I was going to give you what I thought after, right? But this is where I'm confused because I feel like your sentence or this sentence is confusing. If I would have known we weren't going to make it to the playoffs, the thing was this, even after y'all won that game, it was no guarantee y'all was making it. Y'all was still on the back of other teams, right? So, so I think that statement, it's not inaccurate, but it's not.
No, so I said if I knew for a fact we were like not even like going to go like had a shot in the playoffs like whatsoever.
Yeah, but you didn't. So okay, so you're saying that if you, yeah, but see, this is the thing. So I guess this is where I'm confused, right? Because that statement tells me that you felt like you had a shot in the playoffs.
No, like had a shot to go to, like if I knew for a fact that we had a shot to not even make it to the, like we did not, like didn't even have a chance of making
It was eliminated. You
wild card.
eliminated going into the last game of the season.
Yeah, but then that makes no sense. Or I don't understand that statement where, because the statement was, would you have preferred for him
I'm gonna give you an example,
win?
right? I'm gonna give you an example, right? Because even though the Dolphins, they were out. There was no way they weren't even like eligible for wild card. They still had a non-losing season because they had over a 500. So whether or not they would have won or lost that their last game, they had no shot to go to the wild card round at all. That's what I meant.
That was, yeah, but so that's essentially what's the question. Would you have preferred for him to go out winning the last games or actually losing the first game in the playoff? So
and that's why I said yes and no. So for the yeah, that's why I said that. I said it's yes.
I understand that, but I feel like your answer contradicts that you would have been okay with him doing well in the season, because if you're saying if I know he didn't have a shot in the playoffs, or if I knew he didn't have a shot in the playoffs, but that's the point. He went to the playoffs and he lost. Would you have just preferred for him to go off on a high note? So essentially what you're saying for real is you would have preferred for him to go out on a high note because you already knew he didn't have a real shot in the playoffs.
Yeah, but also I want to see how far we can go in the playoffs to see if, because what?
Yeah, but you had no shot.
So what you're saying is that since they didn't have a shot to win the playoffs and knowing that, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that, okay, for her to say, and maybe it's me, right? But like the question was, would you have preferred for him? Yeah, I probably am.
You're very nuking it. Yes, you're nuking it.
Okay, I'll let it go.
So I say yes for the playoffs because Frank asked me this question before like the game started too. I wanted to see how far we can go. I've really in my mind thought that we can turn our team around for this game because playoffs matter and teams are different in the playoffs. See if we can turn.
And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true.
So I want to see how far we can go.
I'll say this. I personally would have just liked them to end their division. End their season winning their last two games, right? But I also understand being the mentality of a family. You get what I'm saying? And just trying to ride it until you can't ride any longer. So if that's the mentality they had, we know this is it. So until it is it, we just gonna keep going. I could respect that. I just would have, and you know what? Let's be honest. Even though they lost, the mindset or anything that real people remember is how great Ben was over time. You know what I'm saying? His whole career. So it is what it is. They lost. Honestly,
Ben even said, so they had interviewed him before the Chiefs game, and they were like, what do you have to say to everyone already counting you out against the Chiefs? And he was like, it's gonna be, if it's my last game, because he said we probably don't have a shot. He said we probably don't have a shot. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna have fun and play as best as I can.
Yeah.
So he had that mentality. That
yeah, and I think that's
even
fair.
if he's not going to be salty, he's not going to be like, he's just going to go out and have fun because it's his very, very last game.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to say that they wanted to keep going until they couldn't go no more. Me personally, I
was holding on to Ben on my last little on this curl right here. See how long I hold him on.
I mean, yeah, I would have those last 2 games. He won at home, the last game at home, and then he won the last divisional game of the season. So
which is wild.
Yeah, so he, regardless of how we might or I might see it, he's still gonna go out on top. Yeah, they might have lost the wild card, but it was expected. You know what I mean? You know what I'm sad? The only thing I'm sad was that Juju was begging him not to go.
Yes, that
was
that
really
right
sad.
There broke my heart. Juju, for people listening didn't know, after the game ended, Juju ran over to Ben and was like, "I'm sorry, I was hurt all year. Please don't go. Give me one more year. I promise. We'll take you all the way. Please don't go." Like he was begging him like not to leave, and that's very, very heartbreaking. And I had told Frank and Nick yesterday, it reminded me of the scene in Infinity War when Spider-Man was turning into pixel dust, and he looked at Iron Man and was like, please don't let me go. Please don't.
To me, and as a fan, right, and I've watched Ben since he came in the league, and I've always admired Ben. I like Ben, but being a fan where I saw Brady play his last game in New England was a loss to the Titans in the wild card round. And the regular season was a loss to the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things where it was like, man, I would have rather seen him go out with a winning season than a losing record in New England, because he didn't get a chance. He didn't come back to redeem himself. He went to the Bucs and redeemed himself. So as a Brady fan, yes, great. But as a Patriot fan, it sucks to see a person that brought you 6 Super Bowl rings. And in all fairness, I always say it's not. I hate when people say, well, Eli beat Brady in the Super Bowl. No, Eli beat the Patriots defense in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's not basketball where they guard each other. You know what I'm saying? But they're the face of a team. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at a team, you look at the quarterback. You don't name the defensive player. You look at the Jags, you say Trevor Lawrence. You look at Pittsburgh, you say Big Ben. You look at the Pats, you say Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs, Mahomes. At the end of the day, listen, I knew it was a tall order. I picked the Chiefs, but I was really hoping that the Steelers could pull out the upset more so I don't have to see the Chiefs go on to another round. But,
so we could see Nick Wright suffer.
Yeah, see Nick Wright suffer. But at the same time, you know what? So even if he lost in the division rounds, Big Ben, you can say, I knocked off the Chiefs in the wild card round, So that's enough. I mean, Big Ben, shout out 2026, you said?
2026 in Canton.
Yeah, his
hometown.
I think he'll be a first ballot, and I hope he does not come back next season. I hope he stays.
I don't think he's not. He's not.
And Juju ask him to come back is messed up because.
Well, I think it was just the emotions, like.
It was, but you got to think.
Juju was probably thinking like, "Shit, my mom hates Mason Rudolph. Let me go beg Ben real fast."
Well, no, I think it's this, right? You got to think about it. Just like you saying, Bree, your X amount of years, all you know was Ben. Well, Juju's X amount of years, all he knows is Ben. You know what I'm saying? And just like you're saying, Frank, where regardless of when you leave, you always want somebody to leave on a high note. Mm-hmm. And I think for Juju, he just felt like he couldn't give Ben the high note that he thought Ben deserved. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And on top, Juju was gone. Mm-hmm. Most of the time. So I think it was more of an emotional thing, not more selfish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That comment solely was made to honor Ben. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry I couldn't do what you deserve. Like, just give me one more shot. I promise. I'll get you where, get you what you deserve.
Yeah.
I think it was more of an emotional kind of thing. But you know what? I'm sorry. Before we move on, I thought about this, right? Because remember how last week, I think I said it while we was on here or when we talked, offline. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about these players coming back from injury just to do the last push in the playoffs or whatever. But then you know what? I had to remember, ain't this Juju last on this contract? Or
I think they're gonna extend him though. So he said.
And that's a lot that is another episode we can, especially now that we coming close to the season.
We can do off season.
Yeah, we can talk about these players should they come back or not. And I'm gonna reserve my thoughts for then because I feel like we can go on that tangent and go down a whole bunch of different paths. And so we covered a couple of topics in the recaps.
So because just Nikki brought it up, I just want to read the last part of Juju's Instagram post after the game. And he said, "Thank you to the fans and the city for showing me so much love. After the injury, all the love you showed on me, kept me going through rehab and through some of the dark days I had to be away from the game and my teammates." And then he said, "I've said it before and I have the same stance. I would love to be a Pittsburgh for life. I hope we can make that happen this offseason, and I want to be part of this franchise return to glory. It don't matter if, but when, and I hope I hope I'm wearing black and yellow, celebrating the Super Bowl with these fans when it happens. Love you guys." So
yeah,
he said it last year too. He said, he turned down an extra $4 million to stay with Pittsburgh. Because remember, Pittsburgh only gave him, or $3 million, Pittsburgh gave him $8 million, and the Ravens were offering him $11 million, a 1-year contract for $11 million, and he said, "No, like, I'm loyal to my team. I'm going to stay with them."
And we're going to talk about that in another episode because I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. I don't know.
Yeah, write that shit down because I would have left.
I
would have been a Raven all day. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been gone. So now
but you can't look. He has heart.
We talk about it next time, Bree.
Yeah, Bree.
Sometimes money isn't about happiness. Money can buy you happiness,
So what's the next topic, Bree? Bree's like, I hate y'all.
For real. So before I get to this question that Frank wrote, I want to say a funny quote when talking to Josh Allen when he was in his post-game interview. And he says that he's so happy for Emmanuel Sanders. He said he played for 100 years and today was his first playoff win. Like, jokingly.
I mean, you're right, but look at Brandon Marshall's never been to a playoff. And that's the biggest knock on Brandon Marshall on any talk show he does is you can't talk about
It's cute, yeah. But like he did it jokingly, but he was playing for 100 years and got his first playoff catch and win. Like I thought that was very, very funny. He didn't lie. He ain't lie, but it's
a lie.
Funny.
You know what I'm saying?
He ain't lie. So with that, if you owned a team, which quarterback would you want? Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? I'll let Nikki go first.
Josh. It's my
Why?
Well, I think, like I said yesterday, Josh Allen has shown progression. You get what I'm saying? I've seen where he has grown. And he has grown with the team. You get what I'm saying? Like, he didn't inherit the way the team is producing now. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, overall, I think Josh Allen. I would have picked Josh Allen. I think what Patrick has, it's just like them kids that is born in royalty, and you like, oh, this person can never do wrong. Well, he didn't have. He's grown with this silver spoon. You get what I'm saying? So you don't know what he can do. And I think that's what it is for Patrick, right? So they already had the players, they already had the weapons or whatever, and they just plugged Patrick. I think with Josh, he's growing with the team. He's progressing with the team. So I know what I'm dealing with Josh. I know that, hey, I can get him here. I don't know what I'm dealing with Patrick, because I don't know if he'll be able to produce the way he produced if he didn't have the plugs. So I'm going with Josh.
When I saw this and I brought the question, I didn't write the question the way it was asked, but that was the gist of it going over the next 5 years. I was originally on the fence, right? Because I'm a big guy on wins and stats and championships, you know. But when Nia Nikki spoke about this yesterday, she kind of persuaded me to go the other way. And for me, I would go Josh Allen. And here's why. It's not that I'm a Mahomes hater. I like Mahomes. I think he's good. But I've always said my argument to the people that say he's the greatest, he's the next GOAT, is let me see him do something on a team where he doesn't have what he has, right? And I was talking to somebody and they was like, oh, well, Josh Allen has Stephon Diggs. He didn't have him his first year. He got him, and then they got shut down, and he got shut down because once they stopped Diggs, the Chiefs did, they couldn't do nothing to stop anybody. They couldn't move him. So they went and got Emmanuel Sanders. I agree 100% with Nikki. With Josh Allen, I know what I'm getting. Josh Allen has a stronger arm than Mahomes. He's faster than Mahomes. And yes, his accuracy might not be there all the time, but that's because I think he hasn't developed that part of him. He's still developing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he hit his ceiling. Yes, Mahomes been to 2 Super Bowls, got a ring. He's a NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, been to, I want to say 3 AFC championships or 2 AFC championships back to back. And, you know, he's gone to the big game. But let's be honest, he sat behind Alex Smith. He also has Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. And yes, they might not be Stephon Diggs, and they might not be DeAndre Hopkins or something like that, but they're fast players. They have track stars. They're very fast. Watching the game, they said they had the 2 fastest receivers in the league on one team, which allows Kelce to be as great as Kelce is. You know what I'm saying? I think, like Bree said, people forget about Kelce in the middle of the field. If you don't have a linebacker that can keep up with Kelce, it's going to be hard. If you can't apply pressure to Mahomes and get him off his thing. So we saw last year Mahomes wasn't that great. And then the excuse that people gave him was, oh, well, he didn't have a real offensive line. It doesn't matter. It's what you do. I would personally say if I was going to go, I would go Josh Allen. That's just me, because I seen he went 5-6 his first year, 10-6 his next year, 13-3 his next year, and 11-6 in 2021. You've seen progression. You've seen him do better. Not only that, let's just be honest. They're dominating a division that one organization has had a stronghold on for the last 20 years. And what I saw from him last week was a guy that, he's having fun. He's playing. Me personally, Josh Allen. So I'll pass over to Bree. Who would you go with?
I also would go with Josh Allen, and I literally agree with everything that you and Nikki said. And another thing I want to add that Frank said was also look at the quarterbacks that they watched, that they had prior to starting.
Their predecessors.
Right? So you had Alex Smith. Patrick Mahomes had Alex Smith, right? Alex Smith, everyone knows Alex Smith was a phenomenal freaking quarterback. He was great. You know, he was averaging me 70 points in fantasy, PPR wise, right? Like, he was doing phenomenal. And then you got to think, I'm not saying he's a horrible quarterback, but he's not an Alex Smith. You had Josh Allen, who had to learn from Tyrod Taylor, right? And then you also have to look at the organization. And you have to look at the people that Josh Allen had when he first started versus Patrick Mahomes basically got hand-fed all these great talents. And Josh Allen had to make, even though Diggs came from the Vikings, but, he had to develop that chemistry with Diggs and Sanders and Beasley, and it's working out for him. Yeah, he started off a little rough this season. Frank said it at the beginning of the week too. He doesn't know how strong his arm is. He doesn't. But now that he's starting to understand and starting to get it, and I am going to go with Josh Allen all the way.
And I think that's fair. And people are going to disagree with us, you know, and that's,
And that's
fine.
okay.
Not saying that Patrick Mahomes is
No, that's not taking it away from Patrick. He's great. Look, the stuff he does. I mean, it's one thing you'd be like, come on, you know he's going to do the little underhand pass to somebody to run it in. He did it against the Steelers. He did it all season to Kelsey. And you can't really stop it unless you prepared for it. But I mean, at the end of the day, me personally, if you ask me within the next 5 years and starting an organization, I'm going to go Josh Allen. I'm a build around Josh Allen. I'm going to give him what he wants and go from there. Bree, what's the next topic?
The next topic that we have on here is if Rodgers doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, does it hurt his legacy?
No.
No, I don't. So people bring up wins, and I do it too. I do it too. But let's take a lot of these players. Aaron Rodgers, if he wins this NFL MVP, he'll be back-to-back MVP winner. He'll have 4, only second to Peyton Manning. He has 1 ring. He's only been to 1 Super Bowl. Breeze only has 1 ring, and he's never won MVP. I said it up until Ben retired. The only closest quarterback up to Brady with Super Bowl rings was Ben with 2. So, no, I don't think it hurts his legacy. I feel we can have the conversation just like Peyton. A lot of people say Peyton's better than Brady, and I say, no, he's not. But I'm a Brady fan. But I say that because in the regular season, Peyton might have been great, but when it comes to them postseason numbers, he was horrible. You know what I'm saying? However, it's not a one-player game. It's a team concept. You know what I'm saying? So to sit there and say that if Rodgers doesn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, it's gonna hurt his legacy. Hell no.
He didn't make it last year and it didn't hurt it.
No, let's be honest, Joe. Before Patrick Mahomes was doing no-look passes, Rodgers was doing it. Before these weird angle throws that they do, Rodgers was doing it. We know when we yeah, hopefully you do get him.
We going to the Super Bowl next year, baby.
Before you had Mahomes throwing the ball deep, you had Rodgers who had 2 Hail Mary passes back to back to win games going to the postseason. So let's you can't negate what the man did and arguably be considered after Peyton retired. There was him and Brady and Breeze. You know what I'm saying? As the numbers went, I just feel that some people, you got a ring at least. And you beat the Steelers to get that ring. So let's just be honest. You didn't get that ring against a scrubby team. You got it against a powerhouse team, you know, who already had 2 Super Bowls in that era. So no, I don't think it hurts his legacy. I don't. That's just my thing, you know.
Ain't he about to get MVP again? No, he's fine.
If he gets MVP, it will be because he only has 4 interceptions all season to like 30-something touchdowns. As far as statistical numbers, Brady leads him all the way. So, but again, like I said, Brady don't give a damn about NFL MVPs. What he give a damn about is Super Bowl wins and rings, and that matters more to him than a stupid, not stupid, but a title like that, you know?
Yeah, don't say that because,
But
just because he don't get it, don't downplay.
No. But for Brady, that's what it is. It's not, he said it. I'd rather not get NFL MVP and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that's his prerogative, but don't downplay the actual award or the recognition. Yeah.
It's an accomplishment because Brett Favre got 3 back-to-back. That's one of his things to claim. You know what I'm saying? Is that he got 3 back-to-back. So back-to-back. So I don't think so. And Nikki, Bree, what's the next one?
I didn't add it, but Baker Mayfield had surgery yesterday.
Okay.
And his recovery time is 4 to 6 months. So
I want to see what he does after he's recovered. He has a team, he has players, he has a defense. Next year, if you're healthy, I want to see what you do. Plain and simple. Not even gonna go into it. The Steelers might not have a quarterback. If they have a veteran quarterback, great. But again, you got to give that quarterback time to get acclimated with the team. It's not just one player. Like I said, Juju to me is not your wide receiver 1. You got to get somebody else. And Deontay Johnson, that's his name. He drops too many passes. He's inconsistent. He should have never.
He's very inconsistent.
With your wide receiver 1. I think if you would have got Claypool out there and developed him more as wide receiver 1, you would have got more.
He ain't there either.
Because the truth is, I want to see what happens. But there is one question there, but I'll let you go answer first and then go from there.
Oh, so no, I was going to say, yeah. So I've seen a pattern, especially when it comes to Pittsburgh because we always have like good wide receivers, and some of them can make plays and make catches doubled and triple teamed, i.e. Antonio Brown. Some of them can't, and with Antonio Brown getting doubled and triple teamed, right? Juju as a rookie, no one knew what he can do, so he started standing out. Antonio Brown left. Now you have Juju getting double teamed, right? And then Chase Claypool, again, a rookie, nobody knows what he can do, left. And that's why he was doing so great. And now with Juju out, Chase Claypool, he's getting double teamed, but he is not consistent enough to make catches getting double teamed. He's hesitant. You could tell that he's very scared and he can't get scared. And they always go after the ones that are doing good. Deontay Johnson, all last season, dropped every pass last season. Pissed me off. Like, he was number 18 for the rest of the season last season. This season, right, no one's worried about him because, that's the dude that, who's dropping all the passes. That's why
he got butterfingers.
Yeah. And he was able to complete a lot of, and then he turned around a little bit, like, okay. And then towards the end of the season,
but not enough to carry the team.
Yeah. And then at the end of the season, okay, now this is Deontay Johnson that I know.
Oh, he back.
The one
Welcome back.
This is the one I know.
Yeah.
So yes, I just wish, and I'm not gonna say he's horrible because I've seen worse wide receivers in the league. And also I'm not out there, so I don't know like how it feels. But I do need improvement on my wide receivers. I definitely need improvement on Chase Claypool when it comes to stop being so hesitant and just go for it. And that's one thing that Antonio Brown did. He didn't care how many people was on top of him. He went for it and it worked. You can't get scared. You can't get hesitant. I know last season was your first season playing in the NFL. And you had nobody on your back because everybody's worried about Juju. But now with Juju gone, everybody not worried about you. Oh, this is the guy who made a single touchdown pass for 10 games straight. Like now, no, we got to worry about him. So I'm gonna need them to step it up. Okay. I already texted Mike Tomlin just now. But he said, don't worry, I got you.
So one question I have in there, and I didn't write it the right way, but out of the division rounds, the last teams
I was going to save that for when we do our predictions.
Oh.
Because it falls right in.
Okay, so we can go into it. I'm fine. I'll follow your lead.
Before I got another statistics. For the Wildcard Weekend, over 102 million total views tuned in on Saturday. Sunday and Monday, the 6-game average 30.5 million views, like averaging together. The 30.5 average viewers are up 21% versus 2020, with the second highest Wildcard Weekend average since 2015.
That's good. I think that's good because football's trending back up. And for a while, football's trending down. A lot of people are going to blame the kneeling and this and the sitting for the national anthem. I don't get into politics with sports. I don't think that should be done. But I'm glad to see it. I'm a big fan of football. It's my first love in sports. And I want to see more about it,
Now, predictions. And with predictions, we're going to answer this question as we go on to the game. And the question is, who is under duress going into the divisional round? So as I read the teams or the games, we're going to answer that question. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Oh.
Okay, so for the divisional round on Saturday, January 22nd, we have the Bengals at the Titans. Nikki.
But this, I think this game is. It's so hard to call because I think the Bengals have been hot or getting hot, but I think the Titans needed one plug, and that plug back is Derrick Henry, and he's coming back, right? But I also feel like Derrick needs to dust some, brush some dust off of him. So I don't know. I don't know who's under distress out of these two. If you want me to be honest, I think both of them are. They both got something to prove. Both teams. But if I say who might be the underdog might be the Bengals. I think the underdog might be the Bengals. Obviously, the last couple of years, the Titans make it this far. You know what I mean? They might not be able to hang, but they make it this far. I will have to go with, God damn. I don't know. I don't know. See, the thing I like about Joe is he doesn't get easily distressed. And I think that's important on games that it's very easy to be stressed. I'm going to go with the Titans.
Frank?
I am going with the Bengals as a team to win. And I think because Jamar Chase and Burrows are playing outstanding, I don't think that the Titans have enough power, even though they're bringing all their players back. That's fair. But I think the when I've seen going against the Chiefs last game of the season, or the Bengals when they went against the Chiefs, and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow's out there throwing the ball and catching it like it's nothing, you can't stop them. And when you contain them, you got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd, you got the tight end Uzama, you got Nixon out there running the ball. Joe Burrow's playing an outstanding game. And yes, while we have to account for all three phases, special teams, defense, and offense, sometimes your offense is your defense. And if let's say they go up 14-0, you can't run the ball as much as you used to, because now you're going to eat up too much clock and you can't afford to get stopped. I don't think Tannehill is that quarterback to get you, to get you what you need. This season, he had 21 touchdowns and 14 interceptions with 3,700 yards passing. They went 12-5, but at the same time, when they had Henry in there, when they had King Henry, you had to account for that. I don't think it happens. Plus, it goes against my division, my predictions for the Super Bowl, so I can't afford for the Titans to win. So I will go Bengals. I don't think that either team is under duress. Mostly, out of the five, if you're gonna go five quarterbacks that are under duress, I don't think either one of them is there. Burrows is, if you win, cool. If you don't, nobody thought you make it. They're already counting next season. Let's go. If the Titans go, it's like, well, we brought Julio Jones in. We brought you got AJ Brown. We have Tannehill playing. Our defense is okay. So guess what? We should be the number one seed. So I don't think any of them under the rest. I think anything that happens this weekend. But I will say this: Titans lose this game, you have to start talking about, is that the right quarterback, or do you have the right team?
Tannehill?
Yep. Yeah. But Henry is coming back from injury. There's only one running back I've seen come back from injury besides Cam Akers here recently that was phenomenal, and that was Adrian Peterson. And AP was a monster. So let's see. It all depends on Henry. I'm going Bengals. A close game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout.
Oh, close. Yeah, it is a toss-up.
It'll be a touchdown, but I give it a 3-point win. But I go Bengals. Ree?
I agree with Frank. I don't think either team is under duress. I'm gonna go Tennessee. Sorry, I didn't mean to stutter like that. I am. The main reason why is because, not that I dislike Tannehill, no, not that like I don't have faith in him, but I want to put faith in him to see what he can actually do under this type of pressure. So that's why I'm gonna go with them. He has weapons. He has Julio Jones. He has weapons. The freaking Decepticon is coming back because he's not human. So we'll see. And that's my main reason. Nothing against the Bengals. Me and Blanco talk about this in the car.
I actually want them to win.
I was like, I'm gonna be so proud if they win. Even
I actually want them to win.
They're representing the AFC North really, really good. So
see, that's exactly why I want them to win. If there's one team I hate, it's the motherfucking Tennessee Titans.
Nikki, your fan is not going to like that because he's a Titans fan.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, I want to see if Tannehill can, himself to why he needs to be that starting quarterback. So
that's fair. Well, that's fair. I can see that. I can see that.
What's next?
Okay, the next game that we have also on Saturday, the 49ers at Packers. Nikki.
Oh. Who's under distress?
Under
Well,
duress.
yeah.
The 49ers, Green Bay.
Nick Frank.
I'm going.
He's going Green Bay.
I forgot what I picked in my pick'ems, but I'm gonna
He's
go
going
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay at home. As far as under duress, I think Jimmy G is there. They drafted somebody in the rounds for a quarterback, and you've been trying to prove that you're the guy to be. The defense got hurt. Bosa got hurt. I don't know if he's starting or not. Going into Lambeau Field again, I
He's
tell
so
people,
questionable.
I have movies of the Green Bay Packers. I'm a big Vince Lombardi fan. Like, I told Bree and Nikki this. I don't cry many things, but watching that HBO special did a long, long time ago on Lombardi, I can cry because I see its value. You know what I'm saying? But under the rest is Jimmy. I think Aaron Rodgers is playing like, listen, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm the man. Y'all can have it. So, I will go Packers. Maybe not a blowout, but at least a 7-point game. And under the rest, I say Jimmy G.
I am. Hold on, I gotta find it. Hold on. Because I just had it. I'm gonna go this one right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go this man right here.
Come on, bro. Let's roll.
I'm gonna go Packers. I am. I'm gonna go Packers at home. Yeah. Let's just hope Aaron Rodgers don't come out with that do-rag on. So.
Then we'll see. What's the next game?
Okay. The next game that we have, sorry, I have to go back, is on Sunday. We have the Rams in Tampa Bay. Frank will go first.
So under the rest, quarterback wise, I think it's Matthew Stafford. And the reason is for many years we gave you that pass because you was on the Lions. You come over to the Rams. They sell their whole franchise pretty much to get you what you need. They got you Odell Beckham. Even though Woods got hurt, Odell Beckham steps in. He's been big in the playoffs, wild card game. You have Cooper Kupp. You have Cam Akers back. You have Sony Michel. Your defense is stacked. You have Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, a Super Bowl champ. And you have to go out there and produce. You have to put up points. Bucks, Brady doesn't have anything to gain or lose from this. He's got 7 rings with 10 Super Bowl appearances. He's the man. He walks on water and is like, whatever, I don't care. The thing here for me is we're sleeping on the Bucks because they're offensive weapons. I think the Rams could pull out the upset because the defense made Brady look small. So I'm going to go Rams on this due to their defense. But I will say this. If that Bucks defense can get pressure on Stafford, remember, Stafford cannot run the ball like Jalen Hurts, like Mahomes, like Josh Allen, he doesn't scramble. He stays in the pocket. He's a traditional quarterback. If that defense could apply pressure, it could be a long game, and Stafford likes to make mistakes. He throws picks. His last few games of the season wasn't his best. I'm going to go Rams, though, because my prediction is Packers in the Super Bowl, and I feel that the Rams can beat the Packers, but I'm going to go Rams with the upset. I'm going to call it maybe a 7-point. I'll call a 4-point game.
Nikki.
So, it's really hard because the Bucks ain't been the Bucks, but they still find ways to win games. And the weakest link on the Rams happens to be their QB. It is Stafford. Stafford is the weakest link. So I don't know. The way people have been playing lately, the Rams look like the stronger team. On both sides. You get what I'm saying? Is Leonard coming back?
Playoff when he's coming back?
I think so, yeah. He should be back for this game. He only has a hamstring injury, so they kept him out. I think they knew they could win without him, so they kept him out. Giovanni Bernard stepped up big. Vaughn stepped up big. Gronk, Mike Evans. All these guys stepped up. So
But I also feel like Rams can cash in.
Yeah, he
Like-
practiced. He limited practice on Thursday or today. Yeah, he was limited practice today.
I'm gonna go. I want to go Rams, but everything in me saying go Bucks. I'm gonna go Rams.
Also, Bernard was limited practice today as well. He's questionable. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams, but I'm looking at the injury report that was updated today. Yep,
I think
I'm gonna go Rams. And the main reason why I'm gonna go Rams is because that defense is on fire. That defense is on fire. They proved themselves last week against the Cardinals. That defense is hot. You know, Cam Akers, it's his first game. You know, he was drafted this 2021 NFL draft. He had his first start in the NFL game because he got injured right before the season started, and he was on fire. You know, he's great. Also, speaking of the Rams, prayers to Buda Baker on the Cardinals. He's doing good. That was a nasty hit. So
it wasn't intentional either. And
it wasn't. He you know.
yeah, it wasn't nasty as the Akers did it, you know, maliciously. It was just that the hit was not great. You know what I mean? Like it was just a bad hit.
Yep. And so yeah, I'm gonna go with Rams. That defense is on fire. Okay, and then the last game is the Bills at Chiefs. I'm gonna go first. I'm going Josh Allen. I'm going Bills. Nikki.
Oh, most definitely. I just picked him.
Right.
He's
I'm
going
going-
Bills.
I'm going Bills. Listen, they already beat the Chiefs. And I don't care what nobody says. Oh, they beat him in the early in the season. Mahomes was struggling. No. Mahomes got beat by people that he was beating before. He got beat by the Ravens. He got beat by the Bengals. He got beat by Josh Allen. I've been saying this, and people think I'm a hater. The problem was they were so far ahead that other teams had to catch up. And the Buffalo Bills are playing great. That defense was disrespected at home by the Patriots. They haven't forgotten. And ever since that, they've been rolling. You know, somebody was like, oh, well, they lost to the Jags. That was early in the season. Jags have known to pull up the upset because people sleep on the Jags. You got to think that you're in the NFL. You're still a professional somehow, some way. You know what I mean? You was that good to get drafted. So on any given day, you could come up big. I just don't see the Chiefs. You can't gauge it off the Steelers. Steelers weren't the same Steelers as before. They lost Jamar Chase. So I go Bills. And honestly, this is a do or die game for the Bills. This is Josh Allen has to show up big, if not shut up, because you can't be in the conversation as one of the best top young quarterbacks in the league, and you can't get past the guy that's been to 2 Super Bowls and has a.
Regardless, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Regardless, you know, you can't choke this because this will happen last year. You get what I'm saying? You know, so you can't do it twice. You got it. And I don't even know if they played them last year that they got eliminated. I'm just saying that this is where they were last year, and then they got eliminated. You get what I'm saying? Might not be the same team.
The Chiefs beat them in the AFC Championship, but that was
Okay.
They didn't have Manuel Sanders. They didn't have. They shut down Stephon Diggs. That I'm telling you that the Poyer and Micah Hyde, them 2 safeties, they're fast enough to keep up. And they're not playing scared, and that's the difference. So. Buffalo, you went Buffalo, Bree went Buffalo. We'll see if we're all wrong come Sunday night at 6:30. You know what I'm saying?
I hope not.
By 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, we'll be like, well, all three will be like, oh, well, we should have picked different, but I don't think so. I think Chiefs lose. And knowing that's not an indicative thing that's not a bad thing on the Chiefs.
No.
I think you're not going to win them all, man. And not being a Patriot fan, I've seen Patriots for years be favorites and not win. So, I mean, you shout out to going to the playoffs, but you ain't been the same Chiefs that you was the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep, and that is our predictions. My NFL meme of the week from NFL memes _IG. Our childhood is slowly disappearing.
Yes. I mean,
Doug Martin. I don't think people remember how much of a beast Doug Martin was.
Well, I don't think that you got to think players are playing longer than 15 years, 10 years. The lifespan of a football player is very low. And these guys, especially at quarterback, are playing longer and longer. Well, we'll see. I hope to God that we'll see what's up. I'll go first for closing remarks. Listen, another week down, another bunch of games that we saw. I picked right. I hope I picked right again this time, but it's always a blessing to be here. Please subscribe to us. Please follow, share, and keep it going.
All right, y'all. Look, I'm in San Diego, California, living my best life. This is the best job I ever had. But anyway, but I always have to find time to get on here and talk with my co-hosts and talk to y'all people. So y'all stay safe, y'all stay blessed, y'all stay healthy. And I'll see you again next week.
It's always a pleasure doing this every week, Make sure you guys drink your waters, okay? Make sure you guys are stretching. Make sure you guys smile every single day. And I hope everyone has a great and productive week and weekend. Don't forget, stay safe. COVID is still out there. Make sure you are washing your hands and sanitizing. And I just hope everyone has a blissful week. Thanks for listening to Frank Presents the Play Call. Bye.
Bye.